Now, how do you feel about change? Now, I don't like too many changes, to be honest, and especially at a rate that it goes too fast. There is something about familiarity. You see something or someone for a while and you get used to it. It's like muscle memory in sports, doing the same things over and over again consistently to just get better at it. Now, when it comes to cricket and the IPL, which is around the corner, one team has pretty much proved this point: Chennai Super Kings. One captain for every year, time and again, and yes, no one is tired of it, at least not yet. And of course, it helps when he happens to be one of the best captains the sport has produced, Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So familiarity and consistency have their place. One team that is struggling, though, to be consistent or groom familiarity is the Hyderabad franchise. Nothing personal against this setup, but just last night, they announced their third captain in as many years. The Sunrisers Hyderabad IPL team have announced Pat Cummins as their captain for the year 2024. I guess somewhere this was waiting to happen. We said it in as many words right after the auction in December last year. And yes, in a way, it makes sense. When you shell out 2.4 million US dollars, you want that player to give back as much as he can on the field. So it was clear that Pat Cummins will not just have to roll his arm and swing his bat around. He will have to lead the side too. I spoke to former India player Irfan Pathan, who resonated with this thought right after the auctions took place.
What I don't understand is Pat Cummins going for 20 CR, because if you look at it, in T20 for Australia as well, he hasn't done that great. If you look at his IPL numbers as well, he hasn't done that well. A lot of people are mixing the two things, one-day cricket and T20 cricket. Yes, he has done greatly well when it comes to leading the side of Australia, leading 50-over format. And he was fantastic, and credit to him the way he handled it. And he can bat as well, I understand. But he has not done that great in T20 cricket. And Hyderabad is going after him probably not just because of his skill, but because of his leadership quality as well. They're going after him for 20 CR. I'm not too sure.
Here's the thing about captaincy. It's great when you're winning, not so much when you're losing. And Hyderabad has had its share of skippers and its share of losses. We'll come to the losses in a bit. They've had a lot of captains, and I'm of course referring to the setup since the ownership switched hands in 2013. You see that list on your screen and you know the longest run anyone has had at the helm has been another Aussie, David Warner, 2015 to 2021-22, where he took Hyderabad to a title win, their first and only one in 2016. Kane Williamson, of course, took over as captain. David Warner had a bad fallout with the Hyderabad franchise and he moved out. Even if we did not know this, Warner made it explicitly clear, of course, when he put up a story saying Hyderabad franchise had blocked him on social media platforms. They had Manish Pandey captain a whole season in 2021. Then, of course, more changes. Aiden Markram was brought in as skipper. Now, he may have had the golden touch as far as the Hyderabad franchise in the South Africa T20 League is concerned, but IPL is a different monster. And to tame this one is not easy, and the team finishes post the Warner and Williamson era have been abysmal. In the last 3 years, they have finished bottom of the table on 2 occasions and 8th on the other one. So I understand the need to change, but why the shake-up and the complete overhaul? I wouldn't get that. So now, not just the captain, but say hello to a brand new coaching staff too. Brian Lara has given way to Daniel Vettori as head coach. Dale Steyn has exited the building, and another Kiwi in James Franklin has taken charge. A Kiwi with an Aussie captain. Sure, if the Warner-Williamson partnership worked for the Hyderabad franchise, I get where they are heading with this one. And look, Pat Cummins has had a phenomenal year in the national setup for Australia. He's led them to a World Test Championship title, an away Ashes retention, and an ODI World Cup win. Australia men's cricket team was one of the strongest last year. So some credit to keep things smooth must go to Cummins. So I see the temptation to say, okay, he touched and things turned to gold, so maybe the yellow jersey at the helm in Hyderabad should do the trick this year too, as it did with David Warner. So it makes sense. But here are the things I do not get, things that do not make sense. Pat Cummins has not spearheaded a T20 side. But I get this is a minor point to make. The weight a captain carries or brings to a T20 match is arguable and has been debated now for a while. But here's the larger concern. The franchise has invested and done so considerably, and I mean monetarily, in foreign players. So apart from Pat Cummins, in the ranks, they have Aiden Markram. Henry Klaassen, Wanindu Hasaranga, Travis Head, Fazal Haq Farooqi, Marco Jansen and Glenn Phillips. These are quality players who've had solid performances behind them in their national sides as well as in the T20 leagues. IPL is an Indian T20 league where there is a cap on the number of foreign players allowed, only 4. Now, of course, with the impact player rule, a 5th foreign player stands a chance to play half a match. So, with you fielding Cummins as captain, you have just 3 slots to fill and finalize. So, all the best trying to figure out and experiment who those 3 can be. Of course, horses for courses is the way to go, but that too takes time. And somewhere you want a consistent 11 to sink in and get the job done for you. But who knows, maybe it'll work and they'll crack the code. But it just leaves too many ifs and buts in the system, which is only resulting in the process not being simple. And simple works. That's how teams win titles. But then again, Hyderabad has never believed in simple all these years. So here goes another interesting season with more experiments to follow. My verdict on this one, yes, it makes sense to make one of the most expensive buys as your captain, but at what cost? If I had to sum this up, the management seems to have made this decision with their hands tied. Then again, they ended up tying their own hands at the auction table.